So welcome back. Now continue the second session teaching. Happiness, unhappiness, Buddha nature, whatever. So what are these activities that we are doing in everyday life? All of this, our activities, everything we do are ultimately aimed at find true happiness and avoiding suffering, right? Is this the main thing in our life? I think so. However, if we do not understand, do not realize that both happiness and suffering depends on the habits of our own mind, and instead place sort of blame on external situation, then I would say negative karma will grow stronger, leaving us with no opportunity to see the truth. So if we realize that all of our happiness and suffering depends on our mind, then we will understand the importance of focusing on our mind, which is how control it, how to be tolerant in different situations. And as a result, whatever we do will bring happy and peace. Our entire attitude will become then, pure, and everything will turn out sort of harmoniously. Even though we are still living in this world, our mind will experience happiness and peace. I can tell you this and guarantee you, because I had experience, I had spent many times with great practitioners. They're always happy no matter what their situation. Always happy, even though they're in the jail, beat up and no food, and they're always still happy. So the happiness is not really depends on external conditions. It's about how we feel, how we understand. So if we understand the causes and conditions of happiness, it's about our mind, then we will experience happiness and peace. However, our innermost wish and our actual actions are often in conflict. We want to find happiness, but we actually, as Shandadewa said, we want to find happiness, but we actually run away from it, and we cultivate negative seeds in our mind, right? Get angry, get jealous, too much desire, negative seed. We cultivate negative seed in our mind. When we meditate on the nature mind, then it creates, more space and clarity within us. There's more room to experience daily life and more room to let the ego mind to dissolve. Me. Every thought we have is influenced by the ego mind, the selfish mind, and most our beliefs arise from the selfish mind. So in order to liberate ourselves, we must enter more deeply into our Buddha nature. Okay? And then as a result of this practice, we discover nothing but nature of mind itself. This is the direct realization of Buddha nature. It has the capacity to understand everything. There is a knowing quality, as I told you, and this is what we call self-arising wisdom. It is limitless, like the vastness of space. It doesn't belong to anyone, okay? Yet, it is the foundation of all beings. But only human beings, right? Human beings have the chance to discover it. That's why Buddhism always explain and focus us like we are very fortunate. Within this pure awareness, Buddha nature, all our experiences, like thoughts, feelings, emotions, everything arises and everything passes. Yet it remains untouched and never stained by any of this experience, thoughts, feeling, all this. Buddha nature is empty of ego, selfishness, empty of concept, empty of separation. It is completely free, yet it allows everything to arise within it. I mean, it's amazing, Our mind, our body, and the entire universe merge into it. We possess this beautiful Buddha nature full of precious qualities. I mean, Buddha nature itself is actually beyond explanation. I can't explain exactly what it is, but I can, in order to sort of introduce you, I have to explain, right? I have to use these words, otherwise difficult. So when, for example, we possess this beautiful Buddha nature, I can't say like Buddha nature is beyond beautiful and ugly and all these things, but I have to say, like, I have to let you sort of, interested, beautiful, huh? Beautiful Buddha nature. I have? Do I really? is full of precious qualities. Do I really have that? Yeah, yes, you do. But we don't realize it, right? We pass through our entire lives without recognizing this nature and living in ignorance and dying without ever having awakened to our true nature. So anyone who wishes to discover their Buddha nature, it's so important to start with the right intention. The journey begins with a sincere wish to awaken for the benefit of all sentient beings. It is then important to follow the guidance of an authentic lineage. Without guide, this path is hard to find because it's beyond everything, right? Buddha nature is beyond ordinary conceptual thinking, therefore cannot be realized through intellectual alone. And then most importantly, this recognition, the realization must be integrated through your daily practice. It is not a one-time experience, but something that must be stabilized through ongoing meditation and cultivation of mindfulness and compassion in everyday life. Okay? This helps to sort of dissolve all the layers of ignorance that covers our true nature, the nature mind. However, this nature cannot be fully understood through teachings alone. It must be experienced directly through your practice. And as you look more deeply into your experience, you begin to discover the essence of your being, your true, the authentic sort of existence. As you begin to rest in awareness itself, you may start to recognize the qualities of your nature mind, the Buddha nature. Spaciousness that is open and without limits. Clarity that is luminous and aware. Freedom that is not beyond your that is not bound by ego, the selfishness, fear, or conditioning, right? And the compassion that naturally open without effort, and so on and so forth. All these good qualities. So these are signs that you possess Buddha nature. Which is the enlightened essence within you. That's why it cannot be realized through external causes. When you meditate on Buddha nature, there is no need to think. As soon as you start thinking, you become involved with dualistic mind. It's enough just to recognize it. The ultimate is not separate from you, from us. So it's important your practice bring a sense of meaning into your life. Otherwise, after receiving many teachings, without putting those teachings into practice, gradually you sort of grow distance, right? The Tibetan word for meditation, we say gom, gom, meaning gom, meditation is gom, Tibetan, means to become familiar with either an object or without object through your concentration. The object of meditation can be anything, okay? But mainly it is the mind itself. Is the mind the root of all this experience? So as a Buddhist, we believe that all our actions are depend on the state of our mind. Meditation is a journey of self-discovery. That's what Buddhism explains. So meditation is important because it helps harmonize body and mind, as well as to create a balanced state of inner and outer peace. So the aim of meditation is not to make your mind sort of empty, but to make it more peaceful. Meditation is a practice that allows you to develop natural human qualities such as bodhicitta, wisdom, Buddha nature, and so on. So meditation helps you to familiarize yourself with a clear and true way of seeing things and to cultivate the positive qualities of Buddha nature. So we possess, right? We possess this potential, achieve enlightenment, but enlightenment cannot be achieved without practice. We have to understand that. And then most people believe that, this great teacher give me blessings, so that my all negative thoughts and emotions purified. No way. I mean, it's possible, but it's so purified mind or achieve enlightenment cannot be achieved without your meditation, without your practice. So if you wish to meditate, you must first receive instructions, as I said, from a qualified teacher. Then your meditation practice is authentic and suitable for you to follow. So, as a topic today, like, right, Buddha nature and three stages of meditation. So, I would like to talk about a little bit about the basic understanding of the stages of meditation, okay? Here in this session. The stages of meditation actually describe many levels of meditation and how a spiritual path can be achieved and developed. Some of these stages are very helpful for anyone who is really interested in practicing meditation, not just for Buddhist practitioners, but good for everybody who want to purify the mind and have a peaceful and freedom, So I'm going to discuss some of the basic stages of meditation here. So there are three important methods or stages. So the first is probably, this resting, right? As you continue your practice, your meditation, resting is always the first step. Because if you are full of thoughts and distractions, you're not resting. So you have to rest both your body and mind. So the resting is always the first step. Is the most important method because it directly influences whatever comes next. So the first method is rest in the mind. Okay, in Tibetan, it's called njokpa. Means placing the mind on the object of meditation. It refers to maintaining focused attention on the object of your meditation, such as when you bring your awareness to the heart of Buddha nature and keep your awareness right there. That's resting. At the beginning of your meditation, once you have sort of sat down and you are ready to start, the first step is resting. So resting the mind is a very important part of beginning the meditation process. When you try to rest the mind, you will begin to begin to notice its movement, right? And your reactions come from trying to deal with that. So this is actually a very important experience and part of the process. But sometimes people would say, I have more thoughts and emotions when I meditate. And it feels like I'm doing worse than I was before. But what is actually happening here is that you are now becoming aware of the mind's movement for the first time. Then you feel, I'm uncomfortable. Like usually when we're not meditating, we are not aware of how many thoughts, and especially the subtle thoughts. We're never aware of these thoughts. But once you start meditate, then you experience all these movements. Then you feel, I'm getting worse. It's actually not. So your meditation is not creating more thoughts and emotions. But what you're noticing now comes from increased your awareness. However, you are still not able to, your mind for not able to hold, rest your mind for very long, right? It comes and goes. But this time you are beginning to understand your mind a little bit, a little bit. And that's a good sign, you know. So when you try to rest your mind mindfully, you start to recognize where your awareness truly is. Then during your meditation, you just try to keep your mind resting there for as long as you can. So the first, as I said, method of the resting is simply about learning how meditation works and building the capacity to meditate. That is how it begins. And then during your meditation, the important point is the moment of recognition. The moment you become aware that you have been lost in thought, you need to recognize it as a disturbance of the mind. So this is when you need to apply the second method or the stage, what we call continual resting. Understand? First resting, then continual resting. I'm talking about the 3 stages of meditation, right? So the continual resting is the second stage. First stage, you rest your mind. There are lots of methods and instructions, right? How to rest your mind. But then second is continual resting. So this method or stage helps you remain and rest in the mind for a bit longer, a little bit longer. So you have to continue with the previous method while trying to prolong and extend this state of rest. So in this session, try to go a little bit further, right? And a little sort of bit deeper in your meditation if possible. That's why we say continual resting. So then you continue working with it and bring your mind back to rest again. Rest again. Rest again. That's what we call continual resting. As a result, you are able to maintain mindfulness a little bit longer and you begin to feel a bit more confident. Oh, I can work with my mind. I have that capacity. But you're still dealing with the movement of the mind because our mind, this habit is so strong. We always, almost 24 hours, constantly thinking, either past and the future, right? Never being present moment. Just we lost. This is not our life. If you're thinking about past or thinking about futures, that's not who you are. That's not your life. I mean, past is gone. It's past. No exist anymore. Future is not there yet. That's not your life. So that's why meditation is, rest in this moment, your mind, and then you're confident. You believe in yourself, and you start to understand. Oh, Is this my life? But we have to, deal with all these movements, the mind, thoughts, emotions. It is through becoming familiar with meditation that you learn how to let go of your thoughts. However, sometimes you may completely lose your awareness in your meditation and becomes completely separated from your meditation, right? Even though your body is still sit on cushion, but your mind is not there, thinking something else. At that point, you need to apply the third method or stage. We call it repeated resting. Okay? Repeated resting, which means bring your mind back and reconnecting. So when your mind loses its connection to its nature or its object or whatever, you have to gently bring it back and reconnect it again. Now, the difference between the second and third method is that in the second stage, second method, you have not completely lost your meditation, right? But you are very close to losing it. You can see it. You can see their thoughts come in. You're very close to lose it, your meditation. So you need to continually rest the mind and maintain the connection. Otherwise, you're going to lose it. That's second. The end and third stage, the method, however, your mind has completely lost the object, the meditation. So you need to bring it back and reconnect it to the object. So repeated resting. So after placing your mind at the beginning of your meditation, each time you recognize a thought and then return your attention to the object, your meditation. So you are practicing repeated resting. So you are learning how to repeatedly rest the mind again and again. So it's a very, very sort of small act, right? But it's one of the most courageous things you can do with your meditation. Don't worry if you have to bring your mind back 1,000 times. That's exactly why it's called practice, right? So in these stages of meditation beginning, right? We are like babies, learning how to walk. At first, they can only take one step without falling. Slowly, they learn to take 2 steps, 3 steps, then eventually they'll learn how to walk, babies, right? That is what it's like for us, the beginner meditators, when we learn to meditate, rest and then we're almost, there's no meditation, lots of thoughts, so we have to learn slowly without expectations. So at first the mind strays almost constantly, but the more you bring it back with your awareness, with your mindfulness, the more you improve your ability to place the mind rest in it, then eventually you'll be able to let your mind rest. Each time you bring your mind back to the object of meditation, you are taking a step forward. As I said, don't worry if you have to bring your mind many times. You try to meditate, then I don't know why your thoughts come in, arise your mind, then you are no longer with the object. What is that, Tara? So you can meditate, visualize like this stage. You can visualize whatever you like. Do you like a cup of tea? It says Khenpo. So you can just visualize that, bring your mind back to it. You have to do this so many times. It's very simple, right? It's very simple. Believe me, Buddhist philosophy is complicated. But meditation, this kind of meditation, is very simple but very profound. We really need this kind of meditation in our daily life. So many distractions. Because of that, then our mind unhappy all the time. Worry, stress, anxiety, all these things because of distractions. So this is how you build your meditation practice, okay? Through these 3 stages. There are many stages meditations, but we don't need the other ones. So we need these 3. These 3 are very important. Every time you recognize a thought and let it go without force yourself, and your mind becomes stronger. So this meditation practice, rest in the mind, continuous resting, and then repeated resting. These 3 methods work directly with your experiences and pacifying mental distractions. So this stage of practice help your mind become stable. And from that stable mind, you can develop deeper experiences. And that level, then you don't have to worry about your meditation or, distractions. You were always there, like Buddha, right? When he eats slowly, be mindful. Every bit of taste, like he experienced. Like we have no idea. We're just talking something and eating and gone. And then we did not experience actually, right? Mindful. When you walk, you're always mindful. That's why Buddhists call it interconnectedness. When you walk, when you eat, you are connecting everything if you are mindful. But we're not. So that's why we don't have this peaceful and happiness, because of distractions destroy our happiness and peace and freedom and everything like that. So this is very important, first, very, very difficult, when you meditate, your mind is not stable, your thoughts all over, and then it's really hard to focus meditation. Even physically difficult. You can't sit without move. Even like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, it's hard. But when you practice your meditation, depends, even like you don't feel your body is there. You're just in it, this nature of your mind. You don't feel pain or you don't have any thoughts, and it's just so peaceful, but that takes time, right? Takes time. So just keep doing without give up. Okay, so understand? Resting, continue resting. What is the last one? There we go. Repeated resting. We're going to meditate on that, okay? Let's do mindfulness meditation, right? So this time we should try, and I would like you to meditate on mindfulness, focus on these three stages that I mentioned, right? Resting, continue resting, repeated resting. We can make a song. So in order to do that, it's important sit comfortably and allow your body and mind to relax. That's important. Don't try to concentrate anything. Simply let the mind be as it is, right? Stay sort of lightly aware. Do you understand what I'm saying? Lightly aware and focus, right? Without any tensions, So rest your mind with continuity and be aware of the natural stillness between thoughts. Right? Let your awareness remain uninterrupted. If distractions arise, gently recognize them, right? And return again and again with relaxed mindfulness and resting without frustration. That's all. It's very simple. Just mindfulness, right? Mindfulness and awareness. These are the foundation of your all meditation. But in order to be mindful, we are going to use these three methods. Then you see whether they work for you or not. If it doesn't work, let me know. If it works, then good for you. Keep going. So just I give you all the instructions, right? So now you know how to meditate. And just the mindful. The mindfulness, you can just focus on your breath. You can focus on this awareness of mind, or you can focus something else. Your, piece of page or paper or pencil or your whatever you want. Focus on that. Just focus on. Nothing else. Don't search anything, right? Don't search anything. Just let it be, and you will feel this peacefulness. That peaceful brings eventually really genuine happiness. So then, no matter where you live, and these distractions, this world doesn't matter. Like it's a lotus flower grow in mud, right? Lotus flower grow in mud. Mud is impure, dirty, but lotus flower is pure, beautiful, like that. Even though you are living in this negative world, lots of things going on, but your mind will become like lotus flower. Doesn't matter. You'll be always happy, peaceful. Okay, so do that for 10 minutes. Okay, 10 minutes this time, okay? Meditate 10 minutes. Don't worry If you need to move your body, you can do that. Don't disturb others. Just gently meditate for 10 minutes. I'm going to set the time. 10 minutes. You can keep your eyes slightly open or completely closed, whatever you feel better. Whatever, doesn't matter.